So what it is today is September the 6th. It's a Thursday. This is the homework from Wednesday night. This is one of the concepts that is on tomorrow's quiz. So, guys, please start checking. Here we go. Number 1, 1.48. Number 2, 0.10200. Good? Yeah, these zeros may not... You may have one up there, yes.
What about in the back?
You may have them on the back, extras, yes. The third one, 40.95. Okay.
So on the test, if we don't put the decimal on there, how many points are we taking off?
Probably 2 or 3, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Be careful. Yes, guys, the questions I think are 7 or 8 points, so.
What?
The whole concept of this test is, can you put a decimal? So I am looking at some different rules and things that's the main thing I need a grade for, to be honest. Okay, so let's keep going. Here we go. Number 4, 288.92. That one, you have to be careful because it is like 31.0. You should only move the decimal over twice. Okay. Yes.
Will there ever be a point where we're going to have to add like 2 spaces? Like where you add the space on the second one, but on the second time you add it twice?
Not really, I don't think. Now division we add some spaces and stuff, but not multiplication usually. Yes.
When you checked my picture the first time, I had that answer, but you marked it wrong.
Ah, I'm sorry. It happens.
So I did it back, and then I got the wrong answer.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I'm checking y'all had a line like down the wall or whatever. Just I try to, I'm sorry. I make mistakes, I swear. Yes.
Would you give us more credit if we put the decimal on this?
Probably. I've got to still kind of talk to the math teachers on how we're going to grade it. So, not real I think, but I don't know. Number 7, I'm just not real positive yet. We got to kind of talk. On number 7, 140.55. Number 8, 24.6. Number 9, 2.94. Okay, and 10, 11, 12. 10 is 12.72. 11, 27.75. And 12, 9.84. Okay, so tomorrow's quiz, this multiplying, the add and subtract. Yes.
On number 11, I think the decimal behind this much.
Okay, and so that, the 5 decimals can be behind it. Listen, $5 would be written 5.00. So there's only 2 numbers behind the decimal.
So if there was like a decimal and then 0, would you have to move the decimal over 3 times?
Oh, here?
Yes.
Yes. If there was a decimal in the front. Yes, Avery.
On number 7 and number 11,
Uh-huh.
I have on number 7 I have 140.550. Is 0 change the answer?
No. You can have zeros on the ends.
And then on 11 I have the 0.
Same thing. You can have them on each side, like zeros here, just not in extra ones in the middle. Okay. Good question. Yes.
I got 2 questions. Okay, so how would you pronounce how would you pronounce the decimal?
If you were to read it officially the correct way, we should be saying 27 and 75 hundredths.
Okay. So also I'm not sure how I'm thinking this, if I can still do this, but on number 11, I was thinking about if I could do $5 and 55 cents. Is that can I do that?
Meaning, think of it as like $5
Yeah.
and 55 cents. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
On number 10 and 12, each I did like 29, and I did like on number 10 I did like 197 and 2, but I needed to put this.
I think I know why. Listen. In multiply, it's how many are behind it. It's not bringing it straight down. So there's 2 down here. We got to move it over twice. Because it kind of looks like the same thing here. I bet you just brought it straight down. And it's really brought over twice. Okay? That's actually the next thing I was going to talk about. Listen. I need you to you got to know some stuff by tomorrow. And I need you to listen. Some of you are drawing pictures and stuff. This isn't the right time to be doing these things, guys. I love you, but we got to we got a quiz tomorrow. Listen. Now, I need you to think about something. First off, with addition problems, okay, and subtraction problems. I just want to show you this. Please look with addition and subtraction. Your decimals have to be lined up. Now, this is from 2 days ago. Listen, add and subtract. Decimals have to be lined up and brought straight down. That is the whole lesson. Like, that's the whole thing I'm teaching. Listen, tomorrow, you can't walk up to me and say, do I line up my decimals on this problem? I can't answer that. We got to know which ones to line up and which ones to not. So add, subtract, line them up. Okay, are we good on that one?
So if they're all lined up, that's where it's supposed to go. But if there are 2 different spots, so you got to add what's behind the decimal.
No. Well, you're going to have to line them up. So like this one wasn't lined up. I had to line it up and then add a 0. Got to remember that tomorrow. Okay. On the second part, we did multiply. Now, please look at these multiplication examples. Okay. So the first one, I did 0.98 times 0.7. Notice, I didn't line it up by decimals. In multiply, I line up the right-hand number, the right-hand digit. And then I count however many decimals or numbers are behind the decimals. Okay? Listen, if it is a whole number, such as the number 2, I need you to realize that it is officially 2.0. Meaning that the decimal, there we go, is in the back. Making like this one only move over once. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's kind of like those are the few things. Like you got to bounce the decimal and multiply. The whole number, the decimal's behind it. Listen, we're going to do a study guide, and we're going to kind of do it together because we've got to make sure that our time frame, we got enough time in. Real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to remind you, tomorrow, the squares, the perfect squares test, okay, it is 1 minute each, or 1 minute total for all of them. And these are it. If you are at home watching the video and you need to see them, tomorrow they will be in a different order, but it'll look just like this. Okay, if anybody needs them. And then there's also that Quizlet link. Okay, so yes, there could be one twice, and there may even be one that's not listed. Sounds kind of weird, but I think it happened, if I remember correctly. Now, listen, we're going to go through this study guide. I kind of ran out of time in my last class. So what I need you to do is, how about a pencil? Here we go. I want to make sure I get through it. Okay. Okay, this row. Okay. You could do it on notebook paper, but we're going to kind of talk about it. Okay. Do it together, kind of. If you want, put that behind classwork homework. Last night's multiplication put behind classwork homework. Smokey, we're going to do this thing. Right now. Together. Yeah, like we've been, what do you need? Everything? Nothing? Like we just did the study guide.
If as long as he has this, I feel like he'll be fine.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do that right now.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. So listen. Basically, before you walk out of here, I want to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. Okay? So this is we called it a decimal recap, but it is just a review for tomorrow. So you know exactly what's on the test. Here we go. So let's start. Do number 1 and 2. They're we should be able to do these. Do this. 1 and 2. She also left her pen. Shh. Here we go. 1 and 2. Okay, so starting out with 1 and 2. In adding, we have to line the decimals up. Now they can be flip-flopped, like you could have 0.89 on top, but they gotta be lined up. Okay, so making the answer. 9 plus 3, 12, 6 plus 8, 14, 1 plus 1, 2. Bring that decimal straight down. Everybody get on that one? Okay. On one like this, you could flip-flop it. You could put the 12.75 on top as long as it's lined up this way. You can even put zeros in these holes if you want. Okay? That is fine. Adding it up, 8 plus nothing's 8. Nothing plus 5 is 5. Nothing plus 7 is 7. Bring down the decimal straight down. Listen, I'm not sure about, I know I'll have to take off points tomorrow if that decimal's not in the right place. I don't know how many yet, but, okay. Going to number 3. Now remember, subtraction cannot be flip-flopped. Cannot. So I want you to think about it. And look at this amount. 1.3 is like saying 1.30. That's like $1.30. Okay, so I want you to think about it. 0.495 is like 49 cents. Or you could almost say 50 cents. This is bigger than this. Like $1.30 is more than 50 cents. Does that make sense? Kind of weird. I realize it's sticking out further, but the first one is the biggest. Put a 0 in that empty hole. Okay, now we got some weird subtraction. I'm going to borrow from the 3, make it a 2, and make that 0 a 10. Well, my problem is I still can't do 0 minus 5, so I'm going to borrow from the 10, make it a 9, and that 0 is now a 10. 10 minus 5, 5. 9 minus 9, 0. Ah, can we do 2 minus 4? Nope. Borrow from the 1, make it a 0, and
12.
make it a 12. Listen, don't cross it out again. You'd already crossed it out. We got to sling a 1. 12 minus 4?
8. And then you add the decimal.
And then you could even have that 0. You don't have to, but make sure that decimal's in the front there. Okay. Try number 4 real quick. Try number 4. We'll kind of compare answers in just a second. So, number 4. The tricker on number 4, which shouldn't be a tricker, is how to write 31. How do you write 31?
33.31
Yes, I think that's what y'all said. 31 dot or decimal 00. The dot is after the 31. Listen, think of $31. Then the 9.32 has to be on bottom. You cannot flip-flop subtraction. You can't flip-flop it. And 31 is bigger than 9. Okay, here we go with borrowing. Can't borrow from that. Got to borrow from the 1. Make it a 0 and make that a 10. Still can't do 0 minus 2. So I'm going to go next door. He's got 10. We'll steal 1. He's got 9 now. And now this one's got 10. 10 minus 2. 9 minus 3. 0 minus 9. Can't do it. Got to do some more borrowing. Okay. Listen, I am begging you tomorrow on the test, all subtraction to check. Listen, this one and this one, if you add them up, they should equal what's on top. Check your subtraction, especially on a test day or a quiz day. Yes?
Once you get 11?
No, because you're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Okay, because when you make it, you cross it out, make it a 0, make that a 10. You good on that first step? Okay, so it is now like, if you really think about it, it's 0 minus 9. The step is, it's kind of weird, but you think about it. You're going to the neighbor, crossing him out, stealing 1 from him. He's now a 2. But what you do is that 1 you borrow stays a 1. Like it has to land flat next door. Like it has to be just poink, put down there. It doesn't go down again. Doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, so 1 second. I just need to do something. Let me rewrite it. Okay, so here is number 4. Okay. Hi. Yes. Okay. Sure. Okay, so listen. Here we go. So I'm going to do it kind of slow. Watch. Can you do 0 minus 2? Nope. So we're going to go to our neighbor. My problem is that neighbor has 0. I can't even borrow 1 from him. So I got to go to my next neighbor. Now, this neighbor has 1 apple. I can steal his 1 apple, and he now has none left. But the thing is, the 1 I borrowed can only land right next door, and it can only land as a 1, as a straight 1. It can only land, bam, right there. Okay, so that's the first step. Here's the problem. I still can't do 0 from 2, right? So, but I can now borrow from my next door neighbor, because he's a 10 now. So if I steal 1 of his 10, he is now a 9, and the 1 I borrowed can only land, bam, next door. Okay? So I can finally do 10 minus 2, 8, 9 minus 3, 6. And I can bring down my decimal. Now, this is kind of where you were at. The 0 minus 9, we can't do it, right? So the step is to go to my neighbor, borrow 1 from him. He was a 3, I steal 1, he's a 2. But the 1 I borrowed can only go pink as a straight line. It can only land as a 1 next door. We didn't steal 1 from him and make it a 9. We kind of added 1 to him and made him a 10. So 10 minus 9 is the 1, and then bring down the 2. And what I've seen a lot of this year, you guys are like, I call it borrowing happy. It's kind of like we're just crossing everything out. Let's make it all 9s and 10s and 11s. Just do it real slow. If you borrow from a neighbor, when you come back next door, it can only be put down as a 1. Okay? Color. If color helps you, do it. I used to do that all the time. Okay, so let's go number 5. Here we go. On number 5, on subtraction, 3.01 has to be on top. 1.84 has to be on bottom. Okay, we start the crazy borrowing again. Can't borrow from 0. Got to go to 3. Steal 1 from him. He's finally a 2. And the 1 I stole, bam, lands next door. Now I can go to my 10, make it a 9, and that one is an 11. 11 minus 4, 7, 9 minus 8, 1, bring down the decimal, 2 minus 1, 1. Check the borrowing. Once again, I'm begging you tomorrow to add these two together tomorrow, add them together, and it should equal that top number. I'm begging you, do that tomorrow. Yes. Check it then. Like you were kind of up walking around, babe. I borrowed from the 3, made it a 2, and that was a 10. Then I had to borrow from the 10, make it a 9, and that's an 11. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. And they're like, I know it looks like that. It really does look like we're just slashing a bunch of stuff out and putting some numbers, but there is like a process. And sometimes we just kind of have to slow down. That's all. Yes. Now, on number 6. Did you figure out what you did on that other one? Okay. On number 6.
I forgot to write it down when I crossed out the 10.
Yes. Yes. On multiply. Here we go. We're going to multiply 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 8 is 40 plus 1 is 41. I'm going to put a placeholder before I do the 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Put a 1. 7 times 8 is 56 plus 1 is 57. Add it up. I get a 5, a 7, a 5, and a 6 right there. Now, I got to bring it over 3 times because there is 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal. My decimal belongs right there between the 1 and the 5. 8th period should have all this down because I am doing this with my 8th period class. Okay, number 7. 19.27 times 5. 5 times 7, 35. 10 plus 3, 13. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 1 is 46. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, where does the decimal go?
It goes between the 6 and the 3.
Yes, because, listen, the decimal in 5 is officially right there. So there are 2 numbers behind the decimals. Everybody good on that one?
So, in division, you would go left?
Yes, we'll go the opposite way. But that won't be till next week. Okay, so you can do this either way. You can put the 9 on top. Doesn't matter. We will get the same answer. And your answer should be 5.194.
Number 8.
Look up here, guys. Some of y'all are really kind of zoning out. Okay, so listen. I really, really, really need you to look at these word problems. Okay. Yes.
Will there be a point in time where there's 2 decimals in one
Number?
number?
No. No. Look at this one. Well, she might be looking at the word problem and what it looks like. I've had
No,
some.
I wasn't looking.
You weren't? Okay, well, some kids were, and it did confuse them. So listen. That right there is the period at the end of a sentence. Okay? It makes sense. I mean, I've had a few kids ask me, and I get why they're asking me that. That's the decimal. So, it says the current amount in Emma's piggy bank is $48.26. Find the new balance after she gets allowance for doing her chores. Her mom gave her $15.75 for her work. Now, I want you all to know, listen, if you don't know what an allowance is, or you don't know chores, if there is a word problem that you don't understand, I've given word problems before about baseball and football, and kids don't understand it. Listen, ask me. Because it can, I don't want you to miss it because it's something you don't know about, if that makes sense. Now, I want you to think about this one as she has $48.26 in her piggy bank. And an allowance is you're gaining it. You're getting to put more in your piggy bank. So we need to what it? Add it. Okay. Now, there is something up here in the directions that tomorrow you have to write a sentence to go with your answer. And it needs to be a complete sentence. Your phone's in your room. Yes. You left it in here. Okay. Take it with you and tonight check it. We're going to go over it. Okay? Listen, I need a good sentence, such as, in Emma's piggy bank, there is now $64.01. Or, her new balance is $64.01 after she gets her allowance. A good sentence. 6th grade sentence. Okay. Number 10. Making sure we're kind of getting going here. Okay. Miss Donahue wanted to order a pizza. At Domino's, a large meat pizza is $14.99, and at Papa John's, she can order a large meats pizza for $15.55. What is the difference in the prices of pizza? Subtraction. That is your key word. Now, subtraction. Larger number needs to go on top. Which one's larger?
15.55.
Yes. So listen. In a story problem, and no one should be packing up yet, in a story problem, on these, the biggest number needs to go on top, even if it's not in the right order in the story. Okay, doing some borrowing. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, cross it out, make it a 15, make that a 4. Sorry. Cross it out, make it a 4, make that a 14. So, okay, you could have a 0 or 2 zeros. Something about 56 cents. The difference in the pizza cost would be 56 cents. Okay. That is cents. You could put the little cent sign, but I need a sentence. Yes.
Can't you go to Little Caesars and get a large meat pizza for $5?
Yes, she can. And she does it quite often, I won't lie. Okay, on this last part, this was a little confusing. I want you to look at something. Okay. Please look at this with me, or you might be confused tomorrow. Okay. I want you to scratch out the word and right here. And we're going to call it place value. Put it together. Place value. Okay? Now, kind of pushing this over and pushing this over, I want you to think of it as place value. And what I want, and even tomorrow on the quiz, hint, hint, is the word for the column it's in. Or the words, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I want you to think about it. That, if you're looking at that 5 right there, what column is it in? Thousandths. So you would write thousandths. Make sure the THS is on that one. Okay? That one is in the tenths. Now, tomorrow, make sure you know all the columns. Meaning, in the place value chart, you should have a chart in your binder, and it looked like this, the ones, tens, hundreds filled in. Okay? Yes. Please stop packing up and let him ask real quick. What I what?
In real life, if you were buying a pizza, would there be no questions about it? You would just go to
Yes, probably. Really? I probably would go to Little Caesars because I'm cheap, if you want to know the truth.
$5.
Now, listen, tonight, this is an awesome study guide, but study the place value chart. Listen, we might quiz you tomorrow and one of the answers be the ones, or the tens, or the hundreds, or the thousands.
Or 10,000.
Okay? Or on the other side. Don't forget, we also have the perfect squares test. 2 things. Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a great day. A great evening.